Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're watching this video, then you are new here because this is my very first video that I am posting on my Booktube channel. My name is Kayla and welcome to Kayla's Bookish Vibes. One of my goals for the new year was to make more bookish content over on Book Talk, but also I wanted to create a Booktube channel and I'm finally doing that. I thought the best video to start this channel off with would be the Booktube Newbie Tag, just so you can get to know me and some of my bookish tastes and vibes. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the questions. I have my notebook here, so I'm maybe looking to the side so that I can read them. Question number one is, why did you start this channel? I kind of already said, but it was a New Year's resolution for me to start a Booktube channel, but I've always been on Booktube just as a watcher and not as necessarily a creator. And I really wanted to start this channel at the top of the year so that I can document my reading journey and have something to look back on. So at the end of the year, I can go through all of my videos, watch my videos and see how I felt about books that I read, the different challenges that I plan to be doing on this channel and all of that. So I thought January was the perfect time to start. Question number two, what are some fun and unique things that you can bring to the platform? I think the most unique thing that I can bring to this channel is myself. We all have different tastes. You know, there are books that I love that you may hate. There are books that you love that I may just really dislike, but I think that's what makes us unique. There are lots of booktubers that I watch. We don't necessarily have the same taste in books, but I just enjoy watching people talk about books and their love for books, and I just wanted to do the same. So I think the most unique thing that I can bring to this platform that's already so saturated is myself. Question number three, what are you most excited for? I would say the thing I'm most excited for is community. I really want to build a community of people who also love to read, who also love to talk about books, who like to collect books, people who just love to watch content about books, because I personally love watching booktube videos. And I just want to build a community of my own where we can discuss. I can get recommendations from you, you can get recommendations from me, and just like a very friendly, safe place where we can just discuss books in a positive way. Question number four, why do you love reading? I love reading because of the escapism, and I think just about every reader who really loves fiction or fantasy or romance or any of those types of genres, is they love it for the escapism. But I also just really love a good story. There is something about someone being able to tell me a really good story. I'm definitely a plot-driven person, a story-driven person. I just love when people can string words together and tell me a beautiful story. Question number five, what book series got you reading? This is a really good question, and I really had to think back, like as far as I could think back, because I have been a reader since I could read. I have loved to read. So I would say the very first series that really got me into reading, that made me realize like, wow, books is your thing, would be the Logan series by Mildred D. Taylor. It's an historical fiction series, and the series is actually based on her real family. That series was probably the first series that I read that had people that looked like me, people that looked like my family, people that sounded like my family, where I could read something and say my grandma would say something like that. That was definitely the first book that I could see representation of myself. And way back in the day, that wasn't necessarily prevalent. So a lot of times the only books that had people that looked like me were historical fiction. So that's what I gravitated towards as a kid. Number six, what questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? I'm gonna put some of my favorite booktubers on the screen. But what questions I would ask them? I would honestly ask them for book recommendations. Like, who is your favorite author? And what is your favorite book that you have on your shelf? If you could only save one book on your shelf, what book would you save? That's probably the question that I would ask them. Question number seven, what challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? That was a mouthful. For me personally, time management. One thing that kept me from starting a booktube channel and even a book talk account is because I really genuinely love to read, and creating content is fun, but creating content also takes time. So I'm scared that I'll be spending the time that I usually spend reading books creating the content and editing the content, and that's going to take away from my book time, right? Because I work and I am a stay-at-home mom. I homeschool my kids. I don't have like a lot of free time to myself, and that free time that I do have, I prefer to be reading. Like, that's how I spend my free time. But if I'm taking on these new ventures like a booktube channel, then I'll be having to use some of that time to edit and film the content. So I just don't want this to like become like a chore. I want this to remain fun. So that's the challenge that I know I'm going to face, but I'm going to try my best to like balance it all out. Question number 8, when did you start reading? Honestly, I couldn't tell you. It was like 2nd grade, 3rd grade. Like I was that kid in elementary school that would win the AR reading contest. Like I remember, this is so funny. I remember there was this girl named Layla. My name is Kayla, but there was a girl named Layla, and she was the only other kid in like the whole elementary school that would like read as much as I would read. And we have like this little tit for tat thing where we would read AR books, and we would have to take these tests on the computer, and depending on your scores, like you get these AR points. And our librarian had this really big wall that you could see whenever you passed the wall. They would like put your picture higher and higher depending on your score, and me and her picture would be going back and forth. I remember that, and I think I had to be like in the 3rd grade. That's probably the earliest memory that I have of me reading. I remember I would ask for the library pass all the time because I was going to that library at least 2 to 3 times a week. I was finishing books in days. So yeah, I would probably say as early as like 3rd grade is when I was reading. Question number 9 is, where do you read? Honestly, anywhere and everywhere. I love physical books. I love ebooks. I have a Kindle. Her name is Kayante. I also love audiobooks because I'm a stay-at-home mom who homeschools her kids, and because I also work from home. Like, I just read whenever and wherever I can. I love me a good audiobook while I'm working, which is typically how I consume like a lot of my thrillers is on audio. So I'll be listening to an audiobook for 5 hours. And you could imagine how many books I could go through doing that, because typically while I'm at my desk working, I am listening to an audiobook. I also love to read in bed. I have the whole Kindle set up with like the gooseneck thing where I can just, with the little remote where I can just flip the pages while I'm laying down. I read anywhere and everywhere, and I never leave my house without my Kindle. And then question number 10, the last question of this video, is what kind of books do you like? I consider myself a mood reader. I like all the things. I love romance, I love thrillers, I love historical fiction, I love fantasy, sci-fi. I love it all. I don't think there's a genre that I don't enjoy. Although I take that back. The one genre that I probably don't enjoy are like memoirs. I don't really vibe with those. And self-help books, I hate those. Nonfiction is just not my jam. Anything else is up for grabs. I really enjoy all the genres. It just depends on my mood and what I'm in the mood for. So yeah, that was the Booktube Newbie Tag. I really hope you enjoy getting to know a little bit about me. I'm super excited to start posting consistently, fingers crossed, here on this channel, and I really hope that you all stick around. If you did like this video and you want to see more from me, then please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it, and I will see you all in my very next video. Bye.